Blog Talk Radio.
Hello and welcome to the May 12th segment of the Kentucky Water Fuel Museum webcast. Tonight we have with us for the fifth time Stephen Meyer, who is a renowned inventor and industrial troubleshooter, twin brother to the famous inventor Stanley Meyer, who developed, along with him, the water fuel cell. Stephen, you're with us?
Yes, I am.
Welcome.
Well, thank you.
And just before getting on the air, we were discussing the fact that this is the 70th anniversary of this week. That is Sunday. This past Sunday marked the 70th anniversary of the Hindenburg disaster. And
yeah, I know a little history about that, too. I haven't read a book, of course. That happened down in Caldwell, Ohio, if I remember correctly. And they thought that it had gone down because of, it was coming in for a landing or a mooring, if I remember correctly, and they have they were trying to attach it to a tie-down tower, if you will, and there was lightning in the area, and it was stormy, and when they dropped the rope, and when they went to tether it, there was a charge on the blimp itself, and then when it grounded, it causes a flash, and that's when the Hindenburg caught on fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it actually happened in New Jersey.
In New Jersey?
Yeah, I'm looking at the table of contents of this book, and as we were discussing before going on the air, this book is by Addison Bain, Dr. Addison Bain, who is a retired NASA, I guess you'd call him a rocket scientist.
Okay.
And he apparently is the first one to really dig into the Hindenburg story and discover that the hydrogen that was being used as the, I guess you'd say the flotation.
I thought it was helium.
Medium. It's actually hydrogen, I guess. But he's the one who discovered that it wasn't the hydrogen that really caused the disaster as much as it was the flammable, what do you call it, coping or the...
Well, the way the ship was constructed, it had a bone frame around it, if you will, and then they used panels, which was like canvas panels, and these panels were kind of sewn around the frame itself, and then all those panels were grounded to the frame. And what happened was in the beginning, when they made it, it was changing altitudes because of the heat, and so they wanted to come up with some way to control that, and they decided that they would paint it with a reflective color, which would be like aluminum color. So they mixed some paint up, and they painted the panels, and sure enough, it worked. It helped out as far as the heat goes. And then as the ship was being used, some of the panels, the grounding straps, that had broken loose or come loose. And when there was a lightning the ship actually got hit by lightning, then what happened was those panels caught on fire because the paint that they had created for this reflectivity was actually rocket fuel, which we used in some of our rockets a couple of years, 10 years ago or so, and that caught on fire. And then as it came down and crashed, everybody blamed it on the hydrogen or the helium that was in it. But in reality, if the hydrogen caught on fire, it would go up. And the ship never really did explode. It just simply burned, and the gas, as the gases were being burnt, it lost its ability to stay buoyant in the air, and it came down. So, and then that was also confirmed by the Smithsonian Institute of Technology, by the way. They actually got a piece of that material, and one of the eyewitnesses to the crash had picked up a piece of material, so they had got a hold of that and did the analysis, and it confirmed what had happened.
Yeah, very interesting. The name of the book is The Freedom Element, Living with Hydrogen. And as I say, it was written by this Dr. Bain about 3 years ago, 2004. It is available on Amazon. As a used book, you can get it for just a few dollars. I think I paid $4 and some change for it.
Wow, I think I'll get that book and read it. Is it a thick book or?
It's quite a book. It actually has 200 and just about 300 pages.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow. Have you read it at all?
No, I just received it late this afternoon in the mail,
Oh,
and
I see.
I'm just sort of thumbing through it now.
That's pretty exciting, I think.
Yeah, it is quite an interesting. He tells his story, how he got interested in physics and math in his youth, and how he went on to work for NASA, and,
wow.
and how he worked with hydrogen quite a bit. So he took it on himself to investigate the Hindenburg accident, and came out in defense of hydrogen as a fuel.
Oh, sure. Well, NASA uses slush hydrogen, and they use it for their rockets because there's more energy in that. If you look at the weight ratio and the power of the hydrogen, you find out that hydrogen has a lot more power than is related to its weight. So that's why they use it.
Mm-hmm. I would like to read you the last paragraph of his introduction.
Okay, sure.
Before chapter 1, this is what he has to say. He says, at the heart of the book is the importance of hydrogen in our daily lives, its partial solution to the world's energy crisis, and how it can someday release the world from the shackles of the petroleum czars. Thus the title, The Freedom Element.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting?
Makes
me want to read the book.
That is very, very powerful. And it's true. From where we're coming from and things that we've been doing, I see it and I feel it, sense it and taste it, and we will go on with the hydrogen because it's a renewable source. Excuse me, it's a renewable source, and that's the importance of it. And it also has the power density that gasoline has, so why not? And it also answers a lot of questions on the environmental issues of the emissions and so forth, and the consumption of oxygen. So, boy, it just seems like it's the natural way to go. Yeah,
and even to produce electricity, the fuel cell, to think that if all the chemicals on this planet that we have access to for producing electricity without using a spinning shaft or a generator or whatever, it seems that breaking water down to hydrogen oxygen, using that in a fuel cell, is the best way to produce electricity, isn't it?
Really? So how would you do that?
Well, that's a good question. I'm not really that much of a fuel cell enthusiast, but at least I guess you say solar energy would probably be the best way to convert something that's around us into electricity. But I mean, chemically, it would seem that the fuel cell is a...
Yeah, the fuel cell is it's coming along, and it's hit some plateaus at the moment, but I think that those will be resolved as we go along because essentially the way it's being configured right now, and from my point of view, that it has a limitation to it, and they haven't quite realized what that limitation is. And they keep supplying hydrogen to it on one side, and then they supply oxygen from the atmosphere on the other side, and then set up the electrolytes and